Hey everyone, Casualties of Gaming here, coming at you today with another video, this time talking about the Rog Xbox Ally X. So, I wanted to make this video because I feel like there's one or two aspects of this that are getting undershot by a lot of the Reforge Gamings and the Dreamcast guys of the world. And I wanted to highlight one thing in particular that doesn't sound like it's going to be exclusive to the handheld, but may do a lot for PC gaming and PC handheld gaming in the long run. So before we get into this, just know that I am primarily a PC gamer, as some of you may have come to the conclusion of. I do dabble in modding console handhelds and emulation handhelds and the like, and love, playing on those on my breaks at work and whatnot. But what got me into PC gaming actually was the Steam Deck. Wow, that's covered in dust and fingerprints. Yeah, this was my first entry into PC gaming. For those that don't know, there is a SteamOS side of this, and then there is a desktop version of this, and I had tons of fun screwing around with this. That's, what the PC gaming bug bit me with that thing, and then I kind of got into it. So I've always got a soft spot for these type of handhelds. Now, for the Xbox Ally X, keep in mind there are two SKUs. The Xbox Ally, the 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage. From what I understand, the processor in that is going to be kind of akin to the Steam Deck. You're not going to get a ton more performance or anything. It's going to be pretty in line with that. And actually, with lower end games, if it's anything like the original ROG, the Steam Deck might actually do better performance-wise in indie titles. It has to do with the way they've optimized stuff. It's really strange. On paper, this shouldn't run indie games better than either Ally, and it does sometimes. It's really strange, but we'll see about that. It might be different because of the AI chips in it. Who knows? But the one I kind of got my eye on if I was going to buy is the ROG Xbox Ally X, the 24 gigabytes of RAM and the 1 terabyte of storage. The 24 gigabytes of RAM kind of caught my eye. I didn't know at the time that the Ally X that's out right now actually has 24 gigabytes of RAM, so that's definitely interesting. So they have highlighted some features here. Play anywhere stuff, access to supported games. This kind of focuses, in my opinion, on the whole play anywhere thing, where you can buy games on your Xbox or on the Microsoft store, and they'll follow you. The game bar, it looks like, from what I have seen, I've watched Linus Tech Tips video and a few other PC centric YouTubers. The game bar experience on it has improved a little bit, which, I mean, to be honest, it doesn't take much. The game bar on PC, anyway, is pretty broken and kind of a piece of shit. I don't like it. The Xbox full screen experience is kind of what's catching my eye. So, I think if we go down here, where did it go? Okay. So, this isn't really highlighting it, but it's talking more about the processor and stuff, which we'll get into in a second. But you can see screenshots of the UI that kind of look like a cross between an Xbox menu and the Microsoft Store, which is kind of what it is. But it's also got built-in support for Steam and Blizzard and GOG, Epic Games. Probably, I don't remember seeing Amazon on the list, but they do have a PC launcher. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. So, oh yeah, it's also got, at least the Ally X has got Thunderbolt support, which means, in theory, you could plug in an external GPU. I say in theory because Thunderbolt 4 should and does support that. I've heard kind of mixed results as far as people using their Ally X and like getting that to work. I'm not sure if it's a compatibility thing, if they're doing something wrong, but it should work. So yeah, that is basically kind of like the highlight thing, the highlight reel of the ROG Ally X Xbox version. So as far as the Xbox full screen experience goes, I think this is being underestimated. So I watched Linus Tech Tips video, which I've got right here. I'm not going to play it for fear of getting copyright striked or anything. I don't know if he would. I'd rather not, test that right now. I'm a pretty small channel. But I'm going to put this video in the description. And if you go to around the 8-minute mark, he starts talking about the UI and how it's more seamless. So if you're into the Steam Deck at all, basically the Xbox team has worked with Asus to, from what I understand, bring down the bloatware in Windows and kind of streamline everything. And then on top of that, it's got a more console-like experience like SteamOS does. They've actually, it sounds like, taken a lot of experience from the Steam Deck and SteamOS, which is good to see. I think that's being underestimated quite a bit, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if this is going to play a hand and how successful this system is, just because of the fact that it doesn't sound like in their marketing materials it said something to the effect of play the UI on handhelds like the Ally and Ally X. So that leads me to believe that this is going to be available for other handhelds, kind of like SteamOS now is, which is good to see in my opinion. So the older people with the older allies will probably be able to use it. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if any of the Intel-based handhelds, I think there's only one, actually, how compatible they're going to be with this. I imagine all of this stuff is probably more optimized for AMD hardware. I don't know. But it's nice. It's just nice to see them kind of streamlining this and finally getting the bloatware out of it. I'm hoping that something like this kind of gets integrated into Windows 11, and maybe we can see some improved performance. At the very least, this should help us if you have RAM issues or anything. I would imagine that it's probably going to help with that, if nothing else, if they can get some version of this working on Windows 11. I don't see why they wouldn't be. I mean, Windows 11 desktop version, by the way. So, yeah, I'm kind of super stoked to see what happens with all of that and see how I've been. Anyone that games on Windows will tell you that Windows has needed some type of streamlined experience that gets rid of the bloatware, gets rid of all the shit that Windows does in the back that's just completely unnecessary. Windows acts like kind of a Swiss Army knife, but when you act like a Swiss Army knife and you do all these things, you don't do any of them super well, which can lead to all kinds of issues. But I'm super stoked to see that they seem to be taking this seriously. I think this will help with regular PC gaming, handheld gaming. I don't know that it's going to help with the Xbox. Maybe the newer stuff. But I'm not really here to talk about Xbox hardware in the next generation, whether or not that's going to pan out, how that's going to pan out. That's not really why I'm here. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this for a minute and kind of highlight something that I don't think many people are talking about. So yeah, that will do it. I've been Casualties of Gaming, and like, comment, subscribe, all that shit, and I will talk to you on the next one.